evening and welcome to the news on Canal International. We're coming to you live from our studios Ayaba Cho in Duala. First, a summary of tonight's top stories with Kejang Henry Atembe.
The leader of the Ambazonian Defense Forces, Ayaba Cho, remains in detention in Norway after a district court granted a 4-week extension of his pre-trial detention. The court has said releasing Ayaba Cho poses a significant risk of evidence tampering. The Martinez Zogo murder saga drags on after the military tribunal adjourns hearing for the 11th time, reiterating heavy charges of torture and assassination. The suspects are expected to be back in court on December 2, 2024. And fishing expedition turns deadly in Kribi as a 24-year-old fisherman was swept by powerful waves that overturned his fishing boat. Coming to you live from the production center in Duala, the 6:15 news is right away with anchorman Tarike Divine Ramsey Jr.
Thanks once again for staying on with us. And so, as you heard there, the case surrounding the brutal murder of journalist Martinez Zogo has once again been adjourned, raising questions about the pursuit of justice in the matter. Earlier today, at the military tribunal in the capital Yaoundé, charges of murder and assassination were again reiterated in the direction of the suspects. But as you tell us now, Hyacinth Chia, the delay only deepens the sense of frustration amongst those demanding accountability. Your account.
The 11th hearing session this Monday at the military tribunal in Yaoundé lasted for just 13 minutes, from 11:35 to 11:48 a.m. That ended with an interlocutory judgment reaffirming the accusations of torture, complicity of torture, and assassination of Martinez Zogo by the 17 suspects Jean-Pierre Amogo Belinka, Justin Danwe, Maxime Eko, and 14 others, who all appeared in court, a decision which provoked mixed reactions from the defense lawyers.
Nous sommes un peu surpris, c'est-à-dire que nous, les techniciens du droit, parce que là, on a assisté.
We are very surprised of the pre-trial judgment, rectifying material errors, reaffirming the crimes, rectifying the ordinance without any appeal, when we are not yet into the real hearings. I don't know why. Filing new appeals will take months. This file seems to be very special because it appears the canons of the law are not respected. I have never seen such. Let's wait for the next step.
Pour moi, c'est spécial. J'ai jamais vu ça. Et je dis, attendons de voir la suite.
La procédure pénale a ses canons, la procédure pénale a ses phases.
The penal procedure has its canons. This is a sensible case, and the court is respecting the law. To me, the court has just done what is right. The judge has made it clear that the different parties can appeal in 48 hours.
Le tribunal l'a si bien précisé, les parties ont 48 heures pour relever appel de la décision.
The accused and their lawyers have 48 hours to appeal the pre-trial judgment as the case is adjourned for December 2nd, 2024.
Now we stay in the courts but move out briefly from Cameroon because Ayaba Cho Lucas, leader of the Ambazonian Governing Council, has had his pre-trial detention extended by 4 more weeks in Norway. According to the Norwegian court grilling him, Ayaba Cho remains a risk, even as investigations into charges of his sponsoring crimes against humanity in his native Cameroon continue. Here's Kejang Henry Atembe.
Ayaba Cho Lucas, leader of the Ambazonian Defense Forces, remains in detention in Norway after a district court granted a 4-week extension of his pre-trial incarceration. The ruling made on October 22, 2024 follows Cho's arrest on charges of inciting crimes against humanity, a case that has attracted international attention. Cho was taken into custody on September 25, 2024. Detention was initially set to on October 23, but court sided with the prosecution's argument that releasing him posed a significant risk of evidence tampering. The court's decision means Cho will remain behind bars until at least November 19, 2024. The case has sparked significant interest, particularly from Cameroonian and international human rights group. US-based lawyer Barrister Emmanuel Salai, who represents victims of separatist violence in Cameroon, has been instrumental in pushing for Cho's prosecution. Salai filed a complaint against Cho, highlighting the atrocities committed by the ADF during the ongoing Anglophone crisis, which ultimately led to the investigation in Norway. The prosecution has requested further restrictions on Cho's communications during his detention, including a ban on mail and visitors' access. The court agreed, citing concerns that allowing such contact could compromise the investigation. With Cho's detention extended, the court has left open the possibility of additional extensions should the prosecution deem them necessary. The case remains in the early stages, and the duration of Cho's pre-trial detention could stretch further, depending on the ongoing investigation. The legal saga adds to the mounting pressure on separatist leaders as the international community closely watches the proceedings, hoping for accountability amid the violence in Cameroon's Anglophone regions.
Now let's shift attention to the southwest region, where deteriorating conditions at the Idenau, Bota and Tiko wharves, coupled with the porous nature of the Cameroon-Nigeria border, are worsening the region's security crisis. Reporting from Boya right now, Ines Daniel Ondo Ambala says local authorities are now implementing strategies to try and address these challenges, as well as improve upon the livelihoods of the populations. Here's a report.
In a groundbreaking achievement against a backdrop of security threats and rising illicit trade, the Southwest Customs sector in Cameroon has mobilized over 1 billion francs CFA in non-sonora budgeting revenue in October 2024. 1,113 million francs CFA collected over the 1,111 million targets, making a remarkable revenue realization rate of 100.17% compared to October 2023, where the customs sector in Southwest recorded 639 million francs CFA. This reflects an increase of over 475 million francs CFA.
Thank you.
Southwest Chief of Customs Sector Daniel Mongenyamsi says this achievement is as a result of a strong management policy implemented by the Director General of Customs, Fongot Edwin Luvaga.
In the month of October, the Southwest Customs in general realized a milestone performance. This is the first time that the sector is having as revenue performance for the month of October. We realized a total of 367 million and above, which is almost 33% of the general performance of the Southwest Custom for the month of October. So what is our secret? Coming back to your question, our secret is nothing but first, we respect the custom procedures and the rules and regulations.
Southwest Custom has achieved historic revenue collection amidst challenges.
That is why you cannot have ships that enter here. We were able to do it, I will not say because we are extraordinary customs, but because a lot of factors have come into place. It's because of the protection of local industries in Cameroon. Because of this, we're forced, that is the role even of the custom duty.
Up next, we hit the Duala-Bafoussam highway, which has become a major headache for drivers and travelers. Once a vital route stretch, it is now plagued by large potholes which turn every trip into a frustrating ordeal. Up next, Ladis Ambo.
The journey from the West region to Duala has become a harrowing experience for many. Gothic Rose, who has just arrived Duala after traveling through. I am tired because of the poor condition of the road, filled with potholes, leaves us feeling frustrated and exhausted. It is truly worrisome. The struggle doesn't end with the passengers. Chamba Pierre, a bus driver preparing to embark on another long journey, shares the same sentiments. It's a pity. We feel demoralized. The road is long and we spend much more time traveling. There are frequent accidents on this route and the situation is disheartening. The potholes are terrible and the overall condition is simply bad.
The road is not nice, especially the drivers that are going to Bamenda and Buddha. The road stresses them a lot.
When you're in the car, before leaving Duala to Bamenda, let's say for example, before reaching you feel yourself like a type, and again the compressed nature of the road size.
As the road continues to deteriorate, many drivers have been forced to change their routines. It's exhausting. We can no longer make 2 trips in a single day. When a driver attempts to make a round trip in a single day, the tires often get damaged and the exhaust pipe can burst, leading to oil leaks. Currently, we are working on repairing the speed bumps, which have been affected by the poor road conditions. The deteriorating road conditions have left both passengers and drivers calling for urgent government intervention. Many feel that if action is not taken soon, the situation could become even more dangerous as the road continues to crumble under pressure.
So there is little gainsaying the fact that as the days crawl by, roads across Cameroon become increasingly hazardous. A glaring case in point, a locality known as Denepoto in the Duala 2 district, where a huge grater in the middle of the road is stalling traffic, frustrating commuters as well as local businessmen. Here's D. Morin.
On the busy streets of Duala, drivers are used to potholes and traffic delays, but the crater at last position intersection has become a particularly daunting obstacle. Truck drivers, like the one seen here, most gingerly navigate the narrow edges of the road to avoid the deep pits. This critical junction at Kilometre 10 in Duala's 2nd district now sees vehicles cautiously maneuvering around the damaged area to avoid further accidents, a process that demands extreme patience and skill.
It is not easy to maneuver here due to the degraded state of the road, and it damages our vehicles. We are always forced to climb on the pavement and send the pedestrians away. It's very dangerous, especially for us with heavy-duty trucks. There is traffic. Everyone is always looking for where to work. It causes accidents. We fear because when a container truck passes, it can fall off and kill people here.
This deep crater has become a major bottleneck, causing inescapable traffic jams throughout the day. Residents in the area are increasingly frustrated and fearful, with some expressing the constant worry that the situation could lead to accidents or injuries at any moment.
How can we have roads like this after 42 years of rain? Look at how vehicles are struggling to skip the potholes at the middle of the road by taking the wrong side. They are unable to fix the road merely with gravel. Cameroonians really need to register and go to the poll in 2025 massively to change things in this country.
Many locals are voicing their frustration over what they view as the government's slow response to addressing Cameroon's deteriorating roads. Some see the upcoming presidential elections as an opportunity to push for change, hoping that the new administration may prioritize infrastructure and road repairs. This intersection, like so many other roads across Cameroon, requires urgent reconstruction to ensure safe passage for all. Local drivers and residents hope for swift action to ease their daily struggles and restore a sense of security in their communities.
If you're just joining us, you're watching the 6:15 p.m. news on Canal International, broadcasting live from Duala in Cameroon. Now over to the southern parts of Cameroon, and precisely Kribi, where the remains of a fisherman who reportedly drowned at the weekend were recovered earlier today. 24-year-old Zeze was swept away by powerful waves that turned over his fishing boat just off the beach of Ilabe. Tell us more, Sherifa Saleh.
A Saturday fishing trip turned deadly in the coastal city of Kribi as 3 young men were struck by a powerful wave while fishing off Elabe Beach behind the La Brise Hotel. Zeze, a 24-year-old who reportedly did not know how to swim, was swept away in the sudden turbulence. The accident occurred November 9, 2024, as Zeze and 2 friends were fishing off Kribi's coast using traditional tire net. A violent wave struck, capsizing their canoe and throwing the men into the sea. Rescue teams searched over the weekend, recovering his body Monday morning, which was then taken to Kribi's Regional Annex Hospital. This incident adds to the growing list of recent drownings in Kribi, raising local concerns over ocean safety along the region's popular beaches. The tragedy has shaken the local community, particularly for the boat owner, who is also the landlord of the young man. His elder sister and husband are my tenants, so since he was idling home, he decided to join the fishing sector, and when the elders were not around, they decided to go fishing some kilometers away, and there was a heavy downpour. Unfortunately, he was not good at swimming, and except. With drownings becoming a recurrent issue, especially among non-locals, many are urging the government to invest in a better rescue resources and swimming education for both residents and tourists.
Meantime, in the capital Yaoundé, parliamentarians are getting set for the November session, which kicks off on Tuesday, November the 12th. After a 4-month recess, they are back to vote on the 2025 state budget, which many amongst them already say will be tailored to meet the aspirations of Cameroonians. Yes, Beatrice Ngamo.
The parliamentarian lodge in Yaoundé called Hotel des Députés, brimming with its occupants. Parliamentarians are back for the November last ordinary session for the year 2024, refreshed after about 4 months of recess, break to also meet and discuss with their people as their needs and expectations should be reflected in the to-be-voted 2025 state budget.
The November session is that which permits us to vote the national budget, and we have to also control government action in question and answer sessions.
Psychologically set to start work tomorrow. We know we have a busy month working on the budget for next year.
We're coming to evaluate the finance bill, which will be tabled as soon as possible. But it's very important that we look critically at this bill, since we know that it's going to impact the lives of Cameroonians.
Met the population, we have really discussed with our people what we are expecting the budget for the next financial year to be like.
We have had the opportunity to engage with our constituents, interact with them, and be able to bring back their worries that concern to Parliament, and considering that this November session is purely dedicated to the adoption of the state budget, we hope that the aspiration and the desires of the people we represent will truly be reflected in the 2025 budget.
Plenary halls for the National Assembly and that of the Senate at the Yaoundé Conference Center prepped. A guided tour with the Deputy Secretary General at the Senate, Florence Awasom, reveals the setting. Sitting positions carrying names of senators clearly in place. So too that at the National Assembly. Small finishing touches here and there, and all will be set. The National Assembly will open at 11 a.m., while the Senate will be at 4 p.m. November the 12th, 2024.
And about 37 minutes after 6 p.m. Cameroon time, we say immense thanks once again for the privilege of your company. And from all of us in Duala, have a great evening. But don't you go away, because up next is Janice Kamga with the debrief live and direct from Yaoundé. Bye-bye.